wouldn't. So we start all of these movements, pay it forward. You remember a couple of years ago where everybody was doing like a good deed and they would see how long the chain would last. Well, it lasted until people stopped watching. That's worse than if it never happened, because it makes people believe that there's some good. I get why there are a lot of people now who have this bleak, depressing view of the future. I'm not saying that you're wrong. You are correct. The future does look that way. But what I'm saying is that the first step to us, if we don't want that to happen, the first step is to not say it, not to give those words power, to say something different, and to actually live differently, and to support other people that we see living differently. Until now, that's widespread, and it's going to take a while of watching, of working, until those behaviors and those thoughts no longer come installed in the future generations, until it's so unheard of that someone would do a specific action. But that takes time and it takes work. Nobody is willing to put in the work because there's this belief that somebody else will get to benefit off of you doing it. You know what can stop that? Not involving the person who would keep that going. And that's where we get our divisions. Division can be used for a positive manner. It's just that we're using it to divide against things that we don't have any control over. If you're dividing between genders, and I'm not saying that we have the same roles. What I'm saying is in terms of like the fighting and the beefs and stuff. Genders, really? We didn't choose which gender that we're going to be born into. We didn't choose which race we're going to be born into. Those were predetermined. I think that we only need to have divisions based on things that are within one's control. So, starting all of this, thinking about why I didn't go out this weekend, previous relationships with both men, like previous interactions with men and women. Sometimes I can't date because I don't know what I was supposed to have said or done, so that now I don't show up with this baggage. Good thing is I know that it's baggage. I know that it exists. I know what the baggage is. I know the impact in my life, but what I don't know is the impact in the other person's life. It's hard sometimes to believe that it wouldn't have an impact in their life. So currently, I have a lot of women in my life whose spouses don't like me because apparently I was an easy target. The women need so much out of me that they don't have the courage to ask from the men that they're married to. Or either when these men don't have it, they're being told that as a wife, their job is to find a way to get it. And that definitely could mean the closest single person to you. So, of course, they're interested in me staying single. their husbands get to be upset with me, even though they know it's wrong. These are two people that automatically have a support system that understands why they can hurt me. And it's okay. Apparently, I'm responsible for the behaviors of their wives. So I couldn't, like, there are a lot of times where I wasn't able to go out and meet people because their wives would want to go. Their wives would know what I'm doing that day and hate being married. And now it's my fault for even doing anything. And these are like, it's easier for that couple to blame me because then they can move forward as a couple that everybody tells them that they're supposed to do. Was there no other alternative? And if I say anything, I'm the bitter single chick that wants to break up their marriage. So there are a lot of times where we hear, your friends are going to keep you single. Yeah. Hanging out with married women because they believe that once you get married, you still get to have lunch dates with your friends. You don't. You do not. Even other married women, you do not. You do not get to have anybody in your life but that man. Stay and be quiet. And I know that that sounds like I'm trying to punish them or that I'm being mean to them. Well, I don't mean it in that manner. I just don't want the responsibility. I would love to live in a world where, I actually get to be judged on what I'm actually doing. But it's like these women get to go out and pick these guys who are emotionally damaged, and those men don't have to heal. And so they get to believe that every time, and they get to have, even if this is a man who's healed most of the time, I now have to think about if there's ever a day where something happens to that man and he now flips out and he's just having a rough day until he realizes that he's taking out his pain on the wrong person. And this is somebody that I'm not even married to, somebody that's not paying my bills or making sure that I'm safe. So no, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I don't want to talk to you. I want to forget that we ever even met. I want to throw away all the memories. I want to get rid of the pictures, burn them. Because if we go out to lunch and I'm not treating you like a leper just because you got a marriage, I have to hope that you went out and picked a guy that is never, from now until death, going to believe that you're cheating on him and I'm helping you do it. So now I have to be spied on in addition to you so that you can keep a marriage. And then this guy gets to have an opinion on my life. I don't want to be in your family anymore. I don't want to be related to you anymore. I want my DNA to be separated from you. Because I also have to hope that you aren't going to flip out one day and want to start an argument with this guy and want to rethink your marriage. Why is it that when you guys get the 7-year itch, everybody around you has to pay for it? Especially when you guys are going to stay together. If you are going to stay with this man, you don't get to then ask me anything about hanging out or us still speaking. I don't want you calling my phone. I don't want you saying anything to me because I don't want the responsibility. We aren't family anymore because you're now one with this person and I don't know him. He definitely doesn't know me. You chose him. You talked to him. And so now I'm just expected to deal with this. Why? So I stay out of people's relationships, but somehow my name is brought up in it. Because, see, I happen, like, if we're family or we're close friends for a long time, I know exactly what the guy's referring to when he makes certain complaints. And it is, in fact, true. There's lots of secrets that I have that I don't have a desire to walk up to this person and say. But somehow they get to be mad at me when you finally let that cat out of the bag after you've trapped him into giving you a ring and a bunch of kids now. So he is going to stay because, you know, one, that's what, we're being told that marriage is for. And two, it's cheaper. But you're both miserable now because you lied. And so now I'm responsible for not having told this person that I'm not supposed to be talking to away from, the female that I know. And there aren't any perfect women. So this is a story that most people are going to have in their marriage unless they're lying. But if you're so mature, why don't you already know that before you give the person the ring? I don't want you bringing this guy to my house because now he's snooping around in my life trying to figure out what you're doing. Everybody has this problem. Yes, I get it. But for me, the damage is the type of problem that these women have brought into my life. So there's one of them who brought a man who has never been married, who has never had any kids. He knew that she had a prior marriage that she lied her way into with irresponsible pregnancy and shotgun weddings. And this female literally feels like she married a guy that she's better than. She disrespects him. Yeah, apparently he's like supposed to be a veteran. I don't know how true that is because I'm not allowed to ask any questions, but he gets to know every single thing about my life. And he also gets to listen to this woman make up things to make herself feel better if I ever say no to her. He has decided that he's not going to learn how to read. But he still feels like he's entitled to every time he doesn't get his way to threaten to storm out, to leave, and to cheat. And he just causes so much problems in the lives of everybody around them. But she's definitely going to stay. There's another one who also was irresponsibly pregnant. Selfishly getting pregnant in somebody else's house when you're a teenager. To a guy that never wanted her. And so now they have this baby that neither family wants. So then the guy that she ends up marrying can't keep a job. He in his mid-30s goes and joins the military because he could not do anything else with his life. Meanwhile, everybody around them had to chip in and pay their bills while he tried to figure out what job he's capable of. Apparently, the military takes anybody. And he gets to decide whether or not I'm allowed to have hair extensions, because he has time for that. And then I'm a bad influence, and it's necessary for him in every interaction to tell me how much better his wife is than me, and because of what, I still have no idea. There's another one who married a guy who she can't bring herself to believe is attracted to her. And so whenever I interact with them, she gets to feel that he would rather be with me. So I have to sit there the whole time while he insults me to make her feel better. But even though I left and I defended myself, that still comes with a damage. And why is that okay? There's another one who got with a guy that had 3 kids, and he couldn't afford to do anything in a relationship with them, didn't pay any bills, didn't help her out. She didn't have any kids at this moment. Feels that it's okay to call me to ask me if I know how to forge DNA tests so that he could have the motivation to go get a job to help take care of her. There's another one who loves these guys that stay in the street, want to be with a bunch of women, and have her as one of them. And so if she finds out that this guy is cheating, she wants to have an attitude. She wants to fight back with this guy. She wants to argue with him. But somehow, it's the single woman who's telling her to do that. Even though I don't give advice to this person, because this person has a tendency to shoot the messenger. I stay out of that. So I'm saying this because a lot of times when you're single, you're not bitter. You just don't want all of the dumb stuff that happens until they find their groove. And they feel, why can you people never just deal with that on your own? Why do you have to bring that to someone else's life? Oh, and men. You know, there are some sick women out there. And I'm going to just put this out there because, see, as like male family members, right? If you do not accuse me of anything like that because you are insecure. And that is the worst option. At best, what I could hope is that they just kind of feel like he can't possibly want to stay with them because he grew up with me as a family member and is going to want me, like my personality, because we have the same value system. Either way, you need to talk to that person. Do not call my phone because I don't owe you anything. Male friends, why do you women feel that every other woman on the planet is apparently, finding reasons to break up your relationships? Before you met this dude, you do realize that there might have been times where, as friends, we helped him out. Or fun activities that you weren't there for. Everything isn't always about somebody trying to break up your relationship. And yes, I know we all go through this, but what I am saying is it is ridiculous and it is a problem and it needs to stop. These are the dumb arguments that we don't have time for. They take up time and energy and space. They get in the way of any progression. And what's ever solved? They all end the same way. One of two things. Either the person says, oh, I was wrong, I was just emotional, or either I just had this thought, or I found out somebody lied to me, blah, blah, blah. Or either I'm right now, because even though that wasn't happening, it did happen, and so now it's all okay, but I'm not going to take any blame and say that I had anything to do with creating that. I'm not by any means perfect, but these are the things that I avoid. So my issues have been bigger stuff, other more important things. These arguments that I'm describing are very, very irritating. Like somebody just walking around poking you with their finger all day. That's what it feels like. And it's just throughout the entire community. It's not just me. This has the potential to impact things in everybody else's daily life. So there's a person who's now not allowed to show up for work at a store that I'm in because you had an argument at home. Or either somebody that shows up to work and is very bitchy and complainy while I'm trying to get a service because somebody had a selfish thought. You don't live in a bubble. So sometimes I just have to be happy for people from afar. And I think that people need to understand that. But for some reason, apparently it's wrong for me to say I don't want anything to do with you people anymore after y'all get somebody in your life. How is it that, so this is the thing. When people get together, when they couple, right? You have to attack everybody around you until you figure out whether the person is going to always take your side over everyone in their life, no matter what. So everybody around, like whenever I see somebody in my life getting into a relationship, I'm happy for them. I understand and I can feel that they might, like if it works out, that this is going to be something that helps them feel safe and secure or helps them to have support. But I can't ignore the fact that that feeling that I get is okay. So what's going to be the argument that this person chooses to yell at me about? It's not always me wanting to keep that person all to myself 24/7 because I'm not a kid. I, know that that's what's supposed to happen in life. But my objection is to how y'all do it. Why is that something that you even arrogantly want anyway? To know that right or wrong, this person is going to take up for you. There was this conversation a while back about you correct your spouse in private. No, if they acted up in public, you correct them in public. We need to know that you're going to correct this person. We as the community, if you want us to help, if you want us to care about your relationship, we need to know that when that person's acting up, that you're going to correct them and that you're going to give them the right answer. They literally had this meme about if your wife says 2 + 2 = 7 in public, you say, yeah, that's right, condone it, support it, and then when you get home and call them stupid. No, you tell her right then. Because otherwise, I want you and her away from me. And I get to. I don't have to care that you two made up and now all of a sudden y'all are sorry and now, I'm just holding a grudge. It's me. I'm, taking too long. I never want y'all back in my life because that is just like as an adult. Why is it that when people couple, they turn into teenagers? That's not cute. It's not okay. It's not a fun thing for a culture. Yeah, emotions or whatever. But so what? You are adults. This is a thing that I think should stop and a thing that I think should change. It is like we as a culture don't have time for this. It's not cute. I don't have to care. Oh, they make me feel like a schoolgirl, or either she makes me feel so young again. I don't care. Why do you even need to feel young again? Yes, I know people feel it, but why? Why is that a need? It's annoying. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna finish relaxing and get back to work. But just so you know, these are the questions that I have that I need answered for our next generation. Because I think that if they get, like, if we can get this right about who to choose for relationships while they're young, we could have the families and also have a productive society. So, with that being said, I guess I'll do a lot of talking to y'all later. Bye.